Welcome back. You're watching Citizen Business Center. Now, the government will tomorrow start the distribution of 1.2 million tablets and laptops to pupils and teachers in the digital literacy program that will cost 19 billion shillings. ICT Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru will launch the rollout, which targets over 20,000 public primary schools. The program, a flagship project of the Jubilee administration, takes off after years of preparations as well as delays. The 1.2 million devices include laptops for teachers and tablets for pupils, which are fitted with learning content approved by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development for Class 1 and Class 2, covering 5 subjects. Now, the ICT Ministry, Cabinet Secretaries and Principal Secretaries will lead the countrywide rollout across the counties. Well, and this forms the basis of our discussion tonight with the Cabinet Secretary. Joe Musheru, thank you so much for making time to be on Citizen Business Center tonight. First things first, what can we expect from the rollout?
So first, as an objective of the government, we want to see Kenya becoming a knowledge-based society. And so the laptops and the tablets are being rolled out so that we can see transformation. Our kids will become digital, they'll know about technology, and within the next 10 years, you're going to see Kenya introducing a lot of innovations. So what we're doing now is not starting the launch. Actually, the launch began already and rollout. We already have over 160,000 devices in the country that we've been rolling out. Cabinet, the CSs and PSs in the next few days are going to be going around the country to inspect the progress of the deployment of these devices. So I'll be going to West Pokot to look at how they're being deployed, talk with the teachers that have already been trained. We've trained over 66,000 teachers for the Standard 1 pupils who are going to be using the teachers' devices, and then we're distributing this. They're currently being manufactured in China and being delivered, some by ship, some by air. But the plan is for us to have deployed all these closer to Christmas so that the kids can actually be using them.
All right. So are you saying that the 22,000 primary schools that we have will have devices by the end of this year?
That is our plan.
That is
it's actually about 23,000 schools. We have over 22,000 with electricity already. So that's been one of the big projects, that's been a byproduct of the DLP or the Digital Literacy Program. That those communities not only have now computers, but electricity around. And so we've spent a lot of effort ensuring the schools are e-ready, and so these devices will be out.
All right, so out of the 1.2, how many have so far come in and how many are yet to be distributed? So
far 160,000 have come in, and the plan is to have all of them, because we're manufacturing close to 300,000 a month. And we intend to increase that. So we plan to have all of them done by December.
All right. Critics say the government has misplaced priorities, and there was an article recently titled, "Are laptops more important than desks in Kenyan schools?" And I just want your response to that, because there's a whole infrastructure question around the laptops project as well.
If you look at where we're going globally, we're going to have over 3 billion new people getting online. We're going to have over 25 billion new devices connected to the internet. If Kenya is not part of that growth, we're going to lose out big time. We cannot ensure that everybody has everything at the same time, such that when the last school has everything, that's when we start deploying for everybody. Right now, we're working on what is available and ensuring that every school is actually going to have these devices. So as we deploy, we are actually improving on all the schools. When we began, we had about 22,000 schools, but they've kept growing and increasing. So it's not that this is a one-off project. It's continuous. So we're going to see growth. We're going to see improvement. At some point, we're going to be upgrading the devices. So Kenya cannot stop. We're going to continue. And the laptops and knowledge that people need is really important.
I guess it's sometimes, it can be looked as far from reality. Some of the schools that we see, especially, Tiati has been on the news for a long time for students who do not have any classrooms. And I'm just wondering, what is the plan towards that? Is there some collaboration between the Ministry of Education and your ministry to make sure that desks are also a priority and classrooms to start with?
So the project first is not only my ministry, it's actually an interministerial project. We have energy, we have agent with the industrial because of the local manufacturing you're going to see happening. We've got education. The idea is, because it's going to be ongoing, we're working closely with education to make sure the classes that need to be built are built. Some of these are done also by CDF. There's many different players. It's a community-based deployment.
Okay.
So we're working with all of them.
All right. How are you engaging the local tech community? We've got a famed community that is so ICT savvy. They're selling their companies across the world, but is the Kenyan government buying into our own local sector? So
the first thing is, this project, as you said, has taken long, and one of the things that we had put as a condition is that we're going to see local assembly of the devices. So at Moi University, at JKUAT, we have already started the process of local assembly happening. We're going to see in the next month over 10,000 devices being locally assembled. We've also recruited over 400 what are called Presidential Digital Talent Program interns. These are graduates who are ICT literate, and they are going across the country to make sure that we are going to be deploying again with people who are qualified. The universities have also hired over 300 people who they're using to distribute. So we're going to be seeing more than 300 schools being connected every day in terms of the distribution, because this is a massive effort. But the logistics require the local people to be involved, the communities. What we have seen also is that in the schools that we've already deployed, even the parents during the weekend, they're going to actually learn and use the devices. So it's everybody coming together.
All right, as we wind up, CS, I'd like to ask you a question that is looking at the future, so to speak. You've talked about a knowledge economy, and I found a study done by the Inter-American Development Bank that found that children receiving computers did not show any improvement in maths or reading, but only in cognitive skills. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are around that particular study.
So I think people have different levels or inputs that they want to have for their countries or for their markets. In Kenya, we have seen marked improvement in how the devices are being used by the kids, even with the very little training that they've had. And we've seen that they're able to get information, they're able to use that information amongst themselves. Key thing is access to information and knowledge is what is most important. And while there may be all these scientific studies, everybody's moving digital. Everybody's got their smartphones, and we cannot avoid that. So for Kenya, we must move forward. We must be digital. Our kids must be digital.
All right. All the very best with that, yes. Cabinet Secretary for ICT, Joe Mucheru, joining us on Citizen Business Center tonight as the rollout of the laptops and the tablets continues. I'll now hand over to Michael for a look at more news.